Hello, everyone, my beautiful soul gang. It is so good to be with you here today. I am so excited to share with you what has been going on as I've been astral traveling, and I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. But we sent out an email with the video that I did earlier this week. I believe it was on Monday, and lots of response on elderberry syrup, and that you wanted me to share my recipe, which I will. So we'll let you know about that. Ferris is going to be sending out an email, and I'll also post right here on our Energized Living Today page. By the way, I also am going to be sharing this to our private group because some people are not comfortable talking about these things out in the open because this is our public page. The Energized Living Today is our public page, and I want to invite everyone to this conversation. But if you want to have a private conversation about this, I'm going to be posting the video also, the one I did on Monday and today's, on our private Energized Living Today group page. So that way we can have a private conversation. So please join us there. I was not feeling well, and I thought I was having a relapse, and then I realized, duh, I'm detoxing. And what really made me realize that it was the detox and not the flu trying to come back is this spot right here on my nose. I have a pimple. Oh my gosh, I never have pimples unless I'm detoxing. So that tells me that my body is releasing the toxins that I got into from when we had the flood and I was exposed to the mold, and also the shot that I got, the Tdap shot that I got, and the particulates in there that I was allergic to. So my body is releasing these things. So if you detox and you see that your face is breaking out, that means your body is doing its job. So that's my body telling me I'm doing the job that you're asking me to do through the diet that you are doing. So the elderberry wine, this is helping, or not elderberry wine, elderberry syrup. It is not wine. Not only does it detox your body, it also, elderberries are just a wonderful antioxidant. They are wonderful to antiviral. So I'll talk more about that when I talk about the recipe. And I also am drinking a lot of beet juice, which has ginger in it, and the elderberries. By the way, this syrup also has ginger in it, and it also has cloves in it. So a lot of yummy things there, and it really tastes good. Oh my gosh, you'd want it on your pancakes, but you don't want to have that much of it. You want to keep that to a minimum, and I'll talk about that too. So anyway, the other thing that I want to talk about is the Impersonal Life. I don't know if any of you have ever read this, but the Impersonal Life. Wayne Dyer has been talking about this on his program that he did this last week, which I've been following. And it's so funny because I started this astral traveling and these meditations before I started listening to Wayne Dyer, and everything he said aligned with what I was hearing. And this is one of the books that I recommended, which was on my bookshelf. And I've read it about halfway, and I decided I'm going to go back and reread it and then finish it this time. So my commitment this year is to do that. And our physical bodies, one thing that Wayne talked about and that they talk about in the Impersonal Self is, what is the Impersonal Self? Think of it as a vase. If you were a vase, and you have a vase and you smash that vase up, it's no longer a vase. So what makes it a vase? Is it the clay on the outside? No, it's the empty space within. That empty space within is your I am presence. I have been doing this astral traveling, and I experienced, as I shared on Monday, the first couple of days, I went to India. Then I went to the then I hugged the world. And then the next day, I said, where do I need to be? What do I need to see? And what I saw was this, it was at night, and I could see a flashlight, and it was hitting the ground, and the ground in front of me looked kind of deserty. It was kind of sandy there. And all of a sudden, we came across this soldier, and the flashlight came up, and it focused in on the man, and he started backing up, and I saw this fear, and I thought, oh my gosh, this person, whoever I am with, is going to kill this man. And that was my fear, which brought me right back into my body. So I thought, oh my gosh, what happened to the soldier? What happened to the soldier? And I really wanted to know. The next day, I asked about the soldier again and what happened to that soldier. And I ended up in front of this window. It was a big arched window. Next to me was a white kitty. And I'm looking out, and over to the right of me, I see this flash of light. And I instantly know that is the plane that exploded, killing 176 people. And the next day, by the way, I reacted to it emotionally, and I was right back in my body. And I realized that each time that I react emotionally, I end up right back in my body. And then the next day, I started traveling again out of my body, out of body experience. I end up at that same window. So I am at this window, the big arch is there. I'm looking out over the world. Everything is kind of dark. There's some places that are lit up, but up to the right of me, there is a flash of light. And again, I know that it is the airplane. And I knew at that moment, 177 people died. And I started reacting with anger. I was so angry. I'm like, President Trump made a judgment call that killed 177 people. And he should have had more foresight. Not that this general should not have been killed. I'm not saying that. He was a bad actor, but with more foresight, because these people didn't have to die. And all of a sudden, right back into my body. So the next day, I astral travel. I end up in the same place, this big window. And I say, why do I keep coming back here? And I see the explosion. Why do I have to keep seeing this explosion? And I hear, until you can witness it without judgment. And I thought it was my emotions. I thought it was my fear, but it was my judgment of what was going on that landed me right back into my body. And I said, but how can I witness something like these beautiful souls? How can I witness this without having some kind of judgment? It says, you cannot move on past this place until you can. The next day, same thing, same window, same feelings that I had. And once again, I asked, how can I witness this? And I was asked to look at the whole story. Those 177 people that died stopped a war. And I reacted to that. What do you mean 177 people had to die in order to stop a war? And I'm not believing what I'm hearing. I'm judging what I'm hearing. I am, it's been very emotional for me to go through this, and it still is. And each day I go back to that same window, and each day I am asked to witness without judgment, because their soul contract, they decided that if you had somebody that was making rash decisions that caused something like this, people, their own free will, they signed a soul contract that said, I will intervene. Who am I to judge that? I didn't say I was doing it successfully. I'm just saying that's what I'm being told. So all of you will have a reaction to this. Some people, believe that what the president did was right, and other people said, no, it wasn't right. He should have had more input from the military on what this could cause. Everything, what I'm being told, unfolds as it should be. We do have free will, and we all have our own soul contracts. I'm at that same window, and I'm asked to do a meditation. So I'm going to ask you to do this meditation with me as I describe what I was shown. So please close your eyes. We are all standing in front of this window. Not only is the white cat there, I have a crow on my shoulder. I have a toucan on the top of my head. I have all these other animals around me, and there are a few other astral travelers that are looking as well, and we're all there and we're witnessing the world. So I am not the only one that's being taken on this journey. And what I am told to do, what we are all told to do, is take a deep breath, calm the body, and release the judgment. So just release the judgment. And what I am shown is this clear cylinder. It is filled with liquid, and it is mucky, and it is dirty, and there's all this stuff swirling around inside. All this dirt and debris that is swirling, and it's moving fast. And I'm asked to calm the waters. See that moving water. See the debris. See all this gunk floating around. And begin to calm the water. Clear the debris in your mind's eye. Clear the water. Calm the water. Witness in your mind's eye the calming and the clearing of the water. The debris settling to the bottom in the water. The water is calm. There is a little bit of debris that still exists at the bottom. I cannot seem to clear it. And so I ask the I am that I am, why? Why is there still debris, and why can't I clear it? And what I hear is humans are emotional by their very nature. And one of the emotions that we feel is judgment. We will always judge. What we can do is keep the waters in the cylinder still with our breath and keep that judgment still at the bottom. That we can do. For there are very few people who can clear the judgment completely. We judge ourselves. We judge ourselves for judging others. We judge if we look too skinny or too fat, or our hair is turning gray, or we're looking wrinkles. I judge the spot on my nose. I judge the dark circles under my eyes. We judge. and what we can do to keep the waters calm within ourselves, within our spiritual body, is to calm that water and keep that judgment still in the bottom of our cylinder. Take a deep breath and just watch the waters. I now see the water as still. I see there is a very small amount of debris on the bottom. And as I meditate each morning, I will meditate, and I ask you to meditate on keeping that debris still, not stirring it up. And that's how we all create peace on this earth. Now I ask you to come back into your body and open your eyes. What was interesting is when I was in front of that window and I was meditating, I was able to stay there until I decided to come back into my body, instead of the emotions and the judgments putting me back into my body. So as we are going through very trying times, we live on an earth in this physical body, the clay. But we are not the clay that makes up the vase. What makes it a vase is the space within. That is who we are. We are spiritual beings. This is the physical that we are going around in. While we're having this physical journey, we must uphold the laws of the land. So when you see an injustice, look at the injustice and hold up the laws of the land. Don't judge the soul, the person, because remember, we are all one, and whether we like it or not, we are one with some of the most despicable people that we see out there, that we find ourselves judging. We are one with them. You have heard me say before, don't confuse the who with the what is happening. I'm going to go back for a moment to that soldier. What I now understand is the soldier was the one who sent the bomb or the missile that killed those 176 people. And the reason why I kept hearing 177 is because that day it destroyed him. He died to himself because he knew what happened. He is remorseful, but he can't forgive himself. So 177 people died. What we can do is uphold the law of the land, and we can judge the actions and not the person, because we are all one. I am not saying I'm doing it successfully. It is very hard for me to do that. But I'm asking each of you to go on this astral journey with me. Meet me in the universe. Meet me at that window. I'm starting to see other things besides that explosion. That was my God self saying, you must be able to witness what's going on in the world without judgment in order to be whole, in order to keep that cylinder clear, in order for the universe to heal and keep that debris in the bottom. So what I'm asking each of you to do, if you have this book, go back and read it. Really understand the I am that I am, our oneness. The other book that I got, which I love, by the way, it's so awesome. This is a daily journal, and Moonology is wonderful. I got it from Hay House. I don't know, it might be available for you on Amazon. You can check and see. I'll see if I can find it and put a link below. But I have been journaling about my experiences every day. And what started off as very negative, and now I'm trying to really work hard to do it without judgment, to record the facts of what's going on, the facts that support the laws of the land, but me, myself, not judging the person. These are interesting times and interesting things that we are being asked to do. So I would love your comments. I ask all of you to please join me on our private group. You can put your comments below if you want to, but if you want to do it in a private setting, again, I'm going to forward this on to our private page, and I'll put the link to that as well if you are not a member. And it's member only, so you have to actually sign up for that private group, and I'll put the link below so that you can do that. I just want to tell each of you that I love you. I love you, and together we can change the world, but we have to stand at that window without judgment. That does not mean not uphold the law of the land. That's not what I'm saying. I think this is a really important journey that I've been asked to take, and I'm asking you to go on this journey with me. So much love to you. Namaste.